What's up, you guys? So, to all you guys who have ever lost a pet or just had something happen to a pet that you dearly care about, and you don't know what's going on, but you know that it's something serious, and you know, um, yeah. I mean, it's only a matter of time. It's like so. My situation is, I've had these two lion head rabbits. Um, they're from the same litter, so they're brothers, Nifty and Needle, and inseparable. I mean, these two rabbits are like, they're like one. They are best friends. Each other is the only thing they've ever known. Uh, and I noticed one of them, Nifty. So he's the slightly bigger one of the two. He just last night, it was like all of a sudden I just noticed that both of his eyes are like bulging out a little bit, like protruding a little bit outside of the socket or something. Just like swelling in them or something. They look different. Like I could clearly see something was off, something was wrong, but I didn't notice it yesterday morning. I noticed it for the first time last night, and it was one of those things where, like, okay, I hopped on my cell phone and I started doing a bunch of research, and it looks like it could be a handful of different things, and only one or two of the five or six possibilities are treatable and nothing to worry about. Like the majority of the different things that would cause bulging of the eye are serious things, like serious, like heart disease, or like bleeding behind the eyes that are causing the eyes to bulge out, shit like that. So basically, it's a grim situation right now, and I have to prepare myself for the worst, and that's tough. That's tough when you're not ready to say goodbye. I feel like if it's a gradual buildup, you can prepare for it, which doesn't make it any easier, but at least you were kind of prepared for it. You were, able to gradually, you know, um, accept the fact that the M was coming. And, there was a little lead up, so it wasn't just like instantaneous. Because I feel like anything that happens like instantaneous, it hits a lot harder because there's no warning. There's no signs. It's just boom, ton of bricks. It puts you on your ass. So this situation with Nifty is really strange because he's never had any health issues prior to this, and I think he's about 8 years old now. Um, but yeah, I mean, both Nifty and Nito's health has been great. I mean, their whole life, I haven't had any issues. When I first got them, I forget how old they were, but when I first got them, Nito, the smaller of the two, the other one, not the one with the bulging eyes, but the other one, he was like a little underweight, little malnourished, and he had like an upper respiratory tract infection. He just looked like he might have been like the runt of the bunch, right? The runt of the litter. So I was a little concerned at first for him, but man, after a month or two, it was smooth sailing for both of them. Got them both fixed. They've just been, man, picture perfect pets. I underestimated just how much work it is having pet rabbits. I mean, they're a lot of work, man. It's constant. It's not like a dog or a cat that can pretty much take care of themselves a lot of times, and this is totally different. Rabbits completely depend on you. I mean, you need to make sure the areas are clean, and they can make a mess in a very fast amount of time, just because they digest food so quickly that it makes them poop all the time, right? So in humans, it takes 2-3 hours for us to digest food. For them, it takes like 30 minutes. So they're basically eating and shitting all day, constantly. And I should have done more research before I got rabbits. But anyways, I got the rabbits, and basically, I haven't looked back since. They've been a lot of work, but I love them. You know, and the thought of bringing them to a shelter for somebody else to take care of just was never a possibility because I've had them their whole life, and I don't want to put them in an environment they're not familiar with. Um, so anyways, the biggest thing I'm struggling with this whole situation is separating them. You know, like tonight, after I play floor hockey, I'm going to come home. I'm going to grab Nifty. I'm going to put him in a pet carrier. I'm going to bring him to after hour veterinary care. But I don't know what's going to happen. And just knowing that could be the last time Nito ever sees Nifty, and the last time Nifty ever sees Nito, fucking breaks my heart to no end. Because how do you tell another rabbit that you're never going to see your best friend again? That you're never going to see your brother? They're each other's comfort. And like I said at the beginning, they're all each other know. But how do you tell one rabbit this is the last time you'll see your brother? It could be. I mean, maybe I'm just being too negative here. Maybe I'm chalking it up as a bigger deal than it is, but to me, it's something serious. It doesn't look good. His behavior has changed a little bit. He isn't eating as much, and they're at that age, where their health inevitably starts to deteriorate. So more than anything, it's what I'm dealing with today is the heartache is separating them, the two, or possibly having no choice, having no option. You know, this is one of those situations where, if I have to put Nifty down or something tonight, I could see Nito dying of a broken heart. In the near future, just because of stress, because of sadness. Rabbits are very, very anxious critters that are high stress anyway. They're wired that way, and they need all the comfort they can get. And these two, they fed off of each other. Their energy, the security. Like I said, a bond that's strong enough to touch anybody's heart if you saw it. So I don't know, man, but I can tell you guys, man, I've cried more times today than any day I can ever remember. Um, Pets are a blessing. You know, um, so don't take it for granted. Because your pets aren't going to be around forever. You know, and once they start to deteriorate, that shit happens quick. You know, like I said, the hardest part about saying goodbye is saying goodbye when you don't expect you'll have to. You know, like I said, there was no build up to this. There was no lead up to this. It was just instantaneous. You know, noticed it last night. I see them several times every day. Noticed it for the first time last night. And man, so here I am scrambling, trying to make an appointment, trying to get them looked at, because I don't know how serious it is. The last thing I want to do is have him, and a lot of discomfort. Because who knows what he's going through? He could have just a brutal migraine or something. If there's pressure on those eyes and shit, or in the nasal passages, he could have a headache like a son of a bitch, a migraine. He could feel totally miserable. I don't want that. Um, and what kind of guy would I be if I said, well, you know what, I'll bring him in a week because I want to spend the next week basically getting prepared to say goodbye to him. That's not the right thing to do, as much as I want to, because I don't feel ready to say goodbye. Um, I'm just simply not ready to say goodbye to this rabbit. Um, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna do what's right, and what's best for him. You know, Regardless of how I feel, it's about him. Pray for Nifty, you guys, please.